We're losing! Teamwork, guys, more teamwork. They're burying us alive!
Well, shit.
Jeez, Louie.
Honey, don't you want to beat those bastards? In my book, we're gonna be winners.
Listen, man, you got nothing left inside her. Cause you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Screw them.
What are you doing? What are people doing?
Is this early access to?
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
Get out there now and do the best you can.
All right, welcome to episode 7 of the Bad Fodder Figures podcast. This is Captain Mike M. In 2 weeks, we'll be celebrating with our families Christmas Eve, but tonight, celebrating with my podcast family. Got the usual crew here, Matt, Jeremy, and Eric. How we doing, fellas?
Good, man.
Warm, toasty.
What do you got? Jeremy's been saying all night.
Keep it going. Keep the train rolling. Keep going.
Yes. We got a lot of snow here in the Boston area. Matt, you got a fire going on to battle the snow in Ohio. You guys don't get much snow.
We just got down here. We got about an inch yesterday. Yeah.
That's what you're working with, about an inch?
An inch, yeah.
Just a nub.
Yeah. It's about the girth. Yeah. So
Hung like a tuna can.
It was in the 30s yesterday and windy and breezy, so I had a fire going yesterday, and I had myself a fire going today, and it is nice and toasty down here. It is lovely. I love it. I love getting a fire going in the house.
Speaking of the fire, Matt, and you told me yesterday your wife had a movie marathon going on. We approximate how many movies?
At least 5.
Damn.
At least 5 movies, 5 or 6.
I'm just a little concerned about the viewing habits, because I sense the wallet is going to tingle in a little bit. I got a notice in my email yesterday from Netflix that my price was going up to $13.99 a month.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got that notice too.
Yes.
Do you guys get the disc too, or is that just for streaming?
Just
It's
streaming.
just streaming. I think that's up to 3 or 4 devices can stream at a time.
I honestly don't know what I pay for Netflix.
See, mine's on the lower end. I think I only have 2 devices at a time. Do you do the 4K bump too?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's why. That's probably why, because I don't do the 4K bump, and I don't remember seeing that email.
Well, everybody's getting a price increase unless you're at the lowest tier, which is $7.99, which I think is still disc. So everybody's getting a bump. I forget what I think now. If you were paying $9.99, it's going to $11.99. If you were paying $11.99, it's going to $13.99.
Wow.
Does everybody have Netflix? It sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get a lot of use out of it.
They could charge whatever they want for that at this point. I think for most people, they're so like that's just a part of life anymore.
Yeah. That's the norm now. Yeah.
I was reading up on it, and they're still, $13.99 will be the highest you'll pay per month, and they said that's still cheaper than what HBO Go is charging and other things. So they still have room to grow for boosting their rates.
Yeah.
I can't believe they still do this.
Yeah, really. I mean, do a lot of people still get the disc from Netflix?
Well, all the old timers out there, they don't know how to stream and download. They know they've just figured out how to put the CDs in, DVDs into their.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think it's well worth it. I just got done watching a series on Netflix called Godless, and it was excellent. It was a Western. It was really, really good. And, there in itself was some money well spent right there.
Yeah. And I think right now it's not I mean, nobody wants to pay more for the same service, but I think it's okay for now because, like Matt said, they're putting out a lot of their own good original content. But we'll see in 6 months to a year when Disney's supposed to do their own thing, and then they pull everything off of there because you're not even going to lose all the Marvel stuff, but you're going to lose stuff that you didn't realize was Disney or maybe was under some production company that was some third level child company of a Disney corporation or something. And then we'll see what happens then, I guess.
Yeah.
How many other services do you guys pay for besides Netflix?
I pay for Hulu and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, me too. That's what I got. Yeah.
I don't think of Amazon Prime as. I guess.
That comes with it.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I should get more out of my my Prime, but I very rarely do anything with their video or music.
Yeah, I need to take more advantage because apparently the music's supposed to be pretty big too, getting big with Amazon Prime.
Bigger than an.
My wife uses it for books.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jeremy?
I was going to say we do Amazon and we do it the HBO, whatever the one is that you don't need cable to do. There's like a Go and a Now.
I think it's HBO Now.
Yeah, so we do that and then just Netflix and then of course Amazon. But like you said, it's just we actually pay the Amazon Prime for the shipping and all that throughout the year. The movies and all their stuff is just a bonus.
Yeah, I find that even some of the movies they give you, it's not as clear and concise about, I feel like I still have to pay for something, even though I have Prime. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, so because basically not everything is free. There is some stuff that is, and then other stuff you can rent or whatever. But even so, I mean, if it's a crappy night like tonight for you when you got all that snow and everything, would you rather pay $6 and just rent it off Amazon, or would you rather go find a red box out and all that nasty yuck and have to worry about taking it back and all that?
Yeah, no, we do that a lot. We rent movies from Amazon at least 2 or 3 times a month, probably.
There's no way I'm renting a movie. There's no way.
Video, download wise, streaming.
Yeah,
wise?
I'm not renting them. No, not doing it. I get if I want to watch something, I say if I get on my Apple TV and say, hey, watch Modern Family, and it goes through all of the things that I subscribe to, and it pulls up Modern Family. So I don't.
So you have So if it sounds like you have a central place that you log in all your connections, and then it finds.
Right. It finds whatever. Yeah.
And what's that? That's Apple TV?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. I asked the wife if we could get rid of Netflix.
She probably cut your throat, dude.
I said it's going up to $13.99. Do we really need this? I'm just quickly giving the look. Okay. Find something else to bust your balls on.
Yeah, my wife watches a lot of Netflix herself too, so yeah.
And I was reading Google is having some sort of feud with YouTube. No, YouTube and Amazon were having some. Let me back that up. Google and Amazon were having some sort of feud, which means they're pulling YouTube off of Amazon devices.
Yeah. Google had that same. I mean, Apple had that same battle with Amazon, but they kissed and made up. So now you can watch Amazon on an Apple TV, Apple product. So I'm just thinking it's a thing of money at this point. So they'll kiss and make up.
I'm wondering if it probably hasn't happened yet because two of my kids live on their Kindles, and a lot of them watch YouTube. I would have heard by now, Dad, YouTube's not on my Kindle anymore.
Well, you can still go to the browser on the Kindle and go to youtube.com.
Right, just not the app. Yep, maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what my son had to do for a long time.
I know on my Amazon show, it's basically the Echo with the screen.
Mm-hmm.
They took you could say, hey, Alexa, play this on YouTube. Now you can't do that anymore. So it won't let you watch YouTube anymore.
I wonder if it has something to do with that new YouTube TV service. Like maybe there's conflicts or something.
Redundancy, licenses, all that type of stuff.
Right.
I think all this stuff's going to get really, really complicated in the next few years as far as, just different content, like the Disney stuff, like Jeremy said, and all the networks and that starting their own things and everything, just how limited some of the stuff's going to actually be between services and that.
But I think he made a good point. He says that Jeremy said that stuff that you didn't even know Disney was in charge of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, because all the superheroes, they're really controlling that. You know what I'm saying? People
Star
watch
Wars.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of complicated, the Game Awards.
Oh.
You know, I guess I'm maybe not the right demographic for what they're going for. It seemed very an artistic performance from top to bottom, right? It just wasn't an award show. You know, we knew there'd be trailers and reveals, but they also had like a Lifetime Achievement Award, which Matt was very, very engrossed in. He couldn't take his eyes off the
That
screen.
was the stupidest goddamn thing.
Well, it
Having that
wasn't
lady up on that stage.
It wasn't
She
stupid.
was.
It was awkward.
That wasn't. Yeah.
It was painful to watch. Come
Yeah,
on, guys.
it wasn't
Admit-
stupid to. It wasn't
how
stupid
old
to
is she,
celebrate a 35-year-old woman who was like one of the first developers. You know, it was just.
She didn't want to be there. She had no
She
idea.
clearly
what
looked
to
like she had a
say.
stroke, Matthew.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that. The lady was like fragile as an egg.
Yeah.
It was just cringeworthy. You know.
But I think it's important to recognize people like that, though.
Oh, I think so. I think they putting her up there though to give some sort of speech like that maybe was setting her up to fail. But regardless, the spotlight was taken away from her from this other gentleman. And let's just, before we dive into this, if anybody else, we are a equal opportunity podcast here, and I don't want to, take anything away from this guy. But if someone else here wants to say fuck the Oscars and feels like they need to get that off their chest,
Jesus.
why don't you go forward and say it right now? Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, he was drunk and high, I think. That dude. It's a mess.
That was more awkward than that lady.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Jeff Keighley was like, what in the hell?
That's going to be a cool game, though. Besides all the drama around that guy, can. So you guys were into that Brothers game. Any of you play that?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah,
Matt or Jeremy? You ever
No.
play the,
Nope.
I played it for like 5 minutes. Is that the one with the two different stick? Like each stick controlled one of the brothers. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
well, a lot of people liked it. I never played it, but I know some of the guys on Gamers and Beta really enjoyed that. Anyways, he's making a new game called A Way Out. And what's cool about it is it's a mandatory co-op game. And I think it's got local, and it definitely has online. Might have local. And only one person has to buy the game. So I think that's pretty neat. So
That's pretty neat.
if Matt treats us all and buys the game,
Hey,
Matt.
You guys are
So-
funny.
Yeah, funny looking. So what was I getting at here? So it was a very long and drawn-out show with a lot of different things. There was like some dancing. There was a lot of music. I think the opening medley had like maybe every song that was nominated. They just quickly went through them at all. It was a big production. Some of the, I think, highlights here that we'll talk about very quickly. The new Zelda DLC dropped. The Zelda won Game of the Year. One thing I was surprised at is Horizon Zero Dawn didn't win any games awards at all. They were nominated for a bunch.
Damn.
The people out there that are into Bloodborne from Software just very briefly teased something which many think is Bloodborne 2. For the people with the Switch, Bayonetta 3 was announced for the Switch, and also Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming to it. But then there was the Death Stranding extended trailer.
Oh man, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that for a second. What is that?
I need to be drunk and high to understand what the hell is going on.
And on acid.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that scares me is that it's just all CG at this point, right? CGI. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no gameplay that we've seen. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess very loosely you say that there's some invisible people that come up from some sort of oil, right? And you got to be quiet not to detect them. That's one thing you can definitely grab from that. But what's this baby? Why is it down Norman Reedus's throat? And why is it giving me the thumbs up sign?
Kojima is so far up his own ass. This thing's gonna come out and it's gonna be a 16-bit shmup. Like it's not gonna have anything to do with any of this stuff. It's just all gonna be nonsense.
And what I don't get about it is people are lauding this man like he's the next thing to the Messiah, and they're saying this is the greatest game ever. I'm like, dude, you don't even know what you just watched. Even Norman Reedus was like, "What the hell?"
But then he said, "I love you,
And
man.
he's
You've
in the
opened my
damn
eyes
game.
to new things."
Yeah.
What have you gotten into?
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I'm convinced, like many people have said, that you will not see that game for years, and it probably won't be on the PS4. Whatever the next system is, that's when you're going to see that game. I could be wrong. You know, Mark Cerny said that he's already played 3 to 5 hours of that game. Does anybody feel like there's 3 to 5 hours of that game already built?
They showed an hour of it. So game.
I mean, what is it? What kind of is it? A match 3? Like, is it a shoot? What is it?
3.
I don't know. I mean, you can't tell anything. Like it's a babysitting simulator.
Mark Cerny said in those 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, it'll explain everything and you'll understand what's going on. He said that. I was like, whatever, dude. That's still out there.
The game's got guys in hazmat suits, invisible monsters. Disintegrating bodies, sci-fi junk, fetuses.
Babies in a test tube, like something.
Massive creatures that come out of nowhere. They look like they're pulling strings, right?
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. I mean, at this point, it's a hype train. And you hope it doesn't have like a No Man's Sky type thing, right? Where they just build it up, and then it comes, it releases and it's like a fart in a wind tunnel.
Exactly.
I tell you the game I'm interested in playing. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, just the game, that new game by the people that did Firewatch. That looks, I think that looks pretty good.
The what's that called? Witchfire?
So, no. So the one where they're like in a pyramid or something like that.
Yes, yep.
The Valley of the Gods.
Valley of the Gods, correct. Witchfire is the people that did The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Yes. That looked good in the Valley of the Gods. It's supposed to be some sort of... it's not coming out for over a year. It's not till 2019.
No.
But something to do with Egypt and the tombs and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And the way they did Firewatch so well, I'm looking forward to this game here.
I would agree with that.
Same type of feel and stuff.
I am slipping a little because I guess so caught up in playing Fortnite and, dealing with our community, playing with people, and things like that. I was slipping on the whole PSX thing. I didn't realize they had like something you could watch on TV. Totally escaped my mind. And I looked at the notes, and there wasn't really much there. In years past, there was a lot of stuff. But Eric, there was a lot of VR that they announced.
Yes.
Did you notice
and
that?
I'm excited about it.
That's why I wanted to bring that up. There was
and
a lot
they
of
talked
VR.
about, hey, they're going to be dedicated to this. This is not going to go the way of the Vita. They see the future in VR, and they're going to stick with it. So that's what they're saying right now. So
yeah, if you go to the PlayStation blog, and they have like a whole synopsis of all the games that were announced and they talked about, I would think at least if there's 20 games, 12 of them has to be VR. It was like more than half of them were in VR. And they look good, too. They don't just look like little demos. They look like, full-fledged games.
But I think games should be both now, just like they did with Resident Evil. You got the flat version, then you got the VR version. They should have that on the disc. I know that's probably more of a price tag you got to put on the development and everything like that. But if you made it like that, I think VR would go further.
I'm seeing more and more people pick it up, though, the PlayStation. I saw some numbers the other day where it broke down all the VR, and PlayStation is leading the charge. They have the biggest attachment rate at this point. And that probably has a lot to do with the price.
It is really good. I mean, and I know people, crap all over it. It is really good.
Jeremy, did you look at any of those sales? I know you were getting a bit of a VR boner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you
I was
still
looking,
looking at them?
and Matt sent me a link the other day about how they're all like they're a temporary price drop just for the holidays and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same as what those Black Friday deals were, and it's tough not doing it. I'll be honest.
Do it.
But the only thing is, man, I would tell people, man, I would say this, because you can get it and you can spend the $300, whatever it is now, which is fine. But if you get it and just totally Earl every time you put that headset on, it's a waste of money, man.
Right.
And you'll never know until you put the headset on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeremy, are you one?
It's almost like they should let you try it in your home for 2 weeks or something like that. You know, if they came up with some weird thing like that, and they actually had enough to let people do that. Christ,
Or some retailer should do that or something.
Right.
Something. Because that's a
Jeremy,
lot of money to spend.
Are you prone to motion sickness?
What do you say?
I said, Jeremy, are you prone to motion sickness?
Not that I know of. I mean, I've been totally fine with the little phone thing I've had. There hasn't been anything really that made me woozy. I mean, there's stuff that's been like I kind of took a step back or whatever, and kind of forgot where I was in the environment and everything, but never to the point where I felt sick.
All right. Well,
I think you can build up a resistance to it because I'm not prone to motion sickness, but when I first started playing, when you play a driving game in VR and you're going these crazy speeds, it gets to you, man. Let me tell you. But I think you build up a tolerance to it.
Well, Jeremy, try to think of in your past life when you used to leave your house and you went to like, amusement parks and things like that. Do you get sick on rides? If you're not the person driving, do you get sick?
No, like roller coasters and stuff I'm fine on. Back in the day when I was a kid, I could ride pretty much anything. Probably around 14 or 15, the things that just went around in circles, those started to get to me, so I stopped doing those. But like roller coasters, and as long as it's not just spinning around, I'm usually okay.
The teacups. You don't go on the teacups.
No. The Matterhorn.
Right.
Yeah, the Matterhorn, that'll get you. Yeah.
You know, the Matterhorn is okay when you're going forward. And then, it ends like pretty quick. And you're like, I want to get out. That wasn't so bad. And then all of a sudden it's like, why is this thing going backwards? It's picking up more speed. Fuck.
Yeah. Like that giant rocking pirate ship that just kind of rocks back and forth. That's kind of like the line where it's like, it's pushing it. But
yeah, fuck that.
Unbelievable. So other news that came out of PlayStation Experiences, they say the God of War game is going to take between 25 and 35 hours to complete. They showed some new footage of Detroit Becomes Human.
So interested in that game.
Yeah, I think so. I think it looks interesting. No release dates on anything really.
Of course, it's PlayStation.
2018.
They don't put release dates down.
No. They just tell you, boom, it's out. Like Nintendo said. The DLC for Zelda is out tonight. Yeah, Eric, you'll have to keep us updated on these titles that are coming out in VR and let us know what you think of them. I think some of them are coming out pretty quick, and some other ones are just announced that they're in development.
Yeah, they just released the new PlayStation demo disc, VR demo disc number 2. And I got this game on there called Moss. You guys, man, it's something to see, man. I'm trying to tell you.
I've heard about that.
Little mouse.
Yeah, people are talking about it.
And it's playable on the demo. Oh, man, it's great.
And what type of game would you say it is?
It's like a platformer type game. So.
And what makes it special in VR? Do you feel like you get a sense that you're actually climbing things or what?
No, you're actually... It's almost like a God mode where you're playing a platformer looking down into the stage or whatever, and you got to move this little mouse and make him progress through the stage and stuff. It's pretty cool. The dynamic of actually looking into the board, and it puts you right in there. So it's really cool.
Looks like Killing Floor's got some sort of game coming out for that, and people that are into Rick and Morty.
And don't forget Skyrim, bro. Skyrim is still.
I tried to not go there, Jared. I tried not to go there, Eric.
Still killing it. And then Fallout's on its way. Bethesda said Fallout's on its way.
I want to hear you buy this. You're familiar with the Wipeout series, right?
Absolutely, and I probably will vomit on that too.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that would be one that would make me. Oh,
that thing is going to be ridiculous.
Because I actually have gotten a little sick playing that.
Wipeout.
When I was playing that on the PS3, I got a little sick, and that was no VR.
Yeah. They had a Star Wars demo out not too long ago where it shoots you out in a TIE fighter and all that stuff, and that was pretty, motion sickness inducing.
You're gonna get The Last Guardian in VR, and
I'm getting everything that comes out in VR. You can believe that.
Something called Firewall 0 Hour. It brings
that's like a
team-based tactical multiplayer. So
and
multiplayer
you can play with the aim
in
controller.
Multiplayer in VR. Are there any other games out there that have that?
No.
That's a big risk, though, because then
there's that the space, the one where you're flying around in space, right? Didn't that come to PlayStation?
Which one?
God, I'm not gonna remember now. I'll have to Google it while you guys talk or something.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying that's got to be a big investment, though, because you need people to fill those lobbies, right? And
I think that'll happen, though. Well, let me go back. Jeremy, you're right. They got Farpoint right now. They have a multiplayer component in it right now. Because they just added it.
So. Valkyrie, isn't that?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie being multiplayer, though? I haven't played it in multiplayer, so I don't know. I have it, but I've never played it in multiplayer.
Well, that's your homework for next week, Eric.
10-4, I got it. I'm on it.
Matt, do you have some terrible topics for us this week?
I do.
All right, so we kind of flip-flop you around so we don't squeeze you out of time. So
Keeps me on edge.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to play his intro because I want to hear it. Like that.
Oh God! We got a story. Yeah, just.
Might be women of the night walking around, broadcasting out their anuses. Like 70s Harry.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that! Burn it up. I'm right down in the fucking fan. Adult toys, sex crime or sexual assault, vaginas. Jesus fucking Christ!
All right, who's got the GPS on the rub and tug?
I love that, dude.
Fuckers, you get me all nervous.
So, do we want to tell the story now?
Yeah.
So,
Mike.
Mike, you go ahead, Mike.
Unless you're still
crying.
Are we talking
last
about
night?
Oh, yes. Now I remember. There was so many. I didn't know which one we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who brought it up, but we were at the last game of the night, I think it was the last game. Are you familiar with
PUBG?
In PUBG, everybody can talk to each other. All 100 people can talk to each other in the lobby, and then when you get on the plane. So in the lobby, I'm singing Feliz Navidad to people.
And then 10 people started singing.
Yeah. And then some other people started singing along with me, and we did like Little Drummer Boy.
We want to wish you a Merry
Christmas. Yeah. So then someone, I think it was Mark or someone, said, "Why don't you play Matt's song once you get on the airplane?"
So sure enough,
we got up in the air, and then and it was like, the needle went off the record player. There was absolute silence. Like no one said a word on that plane.
The plane shut up.
Which never happens. There's always China #1, N-word this, or your mother that, and everything else. And it was just, everyone was awestruck at what they weren't sure what just happened.
Oh my goodness.
It was unbelievable.
That was great. One of the many happy times we had during the stream last night. Mike punched me in the face.
We had Matt. He was laying down prone.
As usual.
As usual. And a guy was coming by, and he went like this.
Fuckers, you get me all nervous.
And he didn't shoot. He was so awestruck by this guy walking by, and the guy just promptly shot him right in the head.
Yeah,
pretty much how it went down there, right?
So here's a good story. Here's something that happens to Mike a lot, I think. I'm pretty sure. Indian surgeons removed 263 coins, 100 nails from man's stomach. A man who went to the doctor in India complaining of abdominal pain was found to have nearly 12 pounds of metal objects in his stomach.
In his what?
Maxud in his stomach. 12 pounds of metal objects in his stomach.
The hell?
Yeah. Maxud Khan, 28, a rickshaw driver from the district in central state of Madhya Pradesh, was admitted to Sanjay Gandhi Hospital on November 19th. Oh, jeez. Doctors initially believed he was suffering from food poisoning until tests revealed the contents of his stomach. He had been complaining of the pain for the last 1 month. After the general examination, we found out he had an infection in the abdomen and low blood pressure. He was in critical condition. We had suspicions that there was something else because his family had expressed doubts that he was consuming unnatural, abnormal things. So they did an X-ray and then an ultrasound, and that's when they found all this stuff inside of him.
So he was just bored of eating pennies?
Yeah, pretty much. And he went and did pennies and nails and razors and all types of stuff here. It says Khan underwent surgery to remove the objects, during which a laparoscope was used to find them all. We discovered in his stomach nuts, bolts, chains, 263 coins, and around 100 nails. The surgery took about 3 hours to perform. Post-operatively, he was in critical condition for about 24 hours. He is doing okay. It says there are still 2 to 3 coins in his rectum that will pass naturally. So they'll dig them out. Yep, they'll dig them out later. They are blaming this condition on depression. They said after speaking to the Khan's family, doctors believe his unusual behavior could be caused by depression. This is a mental illness. No shit. Our psychiatry department also found that he might be in depression. Khan is expected to fully recover without any long-term damage. That is crazy. I mean, get so depressed you want to start eating like metal and coins and stuff like that. I don't know if maybe he's trying to kill himself or just bored or what, but my goodness.
You don't question it. You just move on.
Oh, right. God. Mike, if you ever get depressed and start eating metal, let me know, okay? All right. Put a stop to that, all right? Here's another interesting one. Gentlemen, hold on to your nuts. It says here, a woman explains why she bit off her ex-boyfriend's balls because he refused to have a threesome.
Well, shit.
Wait, was he the ex before or after?
Apparently before. It says a woman ripped out her ex-boyfriend's testicle when he rejected her demands for a threesome. Nunzia Del Vicio, 43, of Merchant Crescent, Edinburgh, tore open her victim's scrotum with her teeth. She's hardcore. When police officers arrived at the flat where the attack occurred on Lauriston Terrace in Edinburgh, they found Del Vicio with blood on her teeth. Edinburgh Sheriff Court heard Del Vicio had gone back to Mr. Palmer's flat with friends after a night out on May 22nd. Mr. Palmer, 44, said after the group went to bed, Del Vicio, who had taken cocaine and a mixture of unknown drugs earlier that night, came to his room naked and demanded a threesome. Now, who would say no to that? He refused and told her to get out of his flat after he began destroying the bedroom. He says, I took her clothes and threw them at her. We were insulting each other, and she came again against me and bit my left testicle. I threw 2 or 3 punches and had a finger in her eye to push her away. She drew her head back, and my testicle came out. Unbelievable.
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
It's amazingly horrible. Not good at all. That is crazy. But I don't know if I would say no to that, though. That happened to me.
Well, I saw her. Did you see a picture?
Yeah, the picture on the next page here?
Yeah, would you?
Well, it depends what the other person looked like, I guess. But
the other person wasn't even there, were they?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh boy,
that's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And just one more story here. There's a quick one here too. Police in India said they have arrested a man whose smelly socks caused a dispute between him and fellow passengers on a bus. And no, it was not me. I've never been to India.
So wait, we got 2 stories in India and the other one was in the UK?
Yes, sir.
All right, good on America not being in this week.
Not this week. No, Florida or Michigan. It says they told the BBC that they had lodged a complaint against Prakash Kumar, 27, for causing a public nuisance. The incident occurred en route to the capital of Delhi after Mr. Kumar removed his shoes and socks. The stench from the socks was so bad that passengers asked Mr. Kumar to put them in his bag or throw them out, but he allegedly refused, sparking a heated argument. Passengers then forced the bus driver to pull over at a police station in the northern Indian state of Pradesh, where the complaint was lodged. The Hindustan Times quoted Mr. Kumar as saying that his socks had not been stinking and that the passengers had quarreled with him for no reason.
I picture this guy in his seat with his both socks in his hand and like waving them around like helicopters.
It's kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
How do you like these now, motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next time I'm on a public bus. Take my shoes off and socks off, and so people can look at my toes and stuff.
When was the last time you were on a public bus?
It's been a couple years, probably. Yeah, it's probably been a couple years. Maybe next time I'm in the first class on a plane, I'll do it.
Oh my god.
That is it for the Terrible Topics this week.
That's it. Very good. On a no-fly list real quick.
Yeah. Oh god. Watch that.
All right, let's jump into the voicemails. We got a few this week. Hold on.
May I help you? Operator?
Are you the operator?
I'm long distance, sir. Overseas, may I help you? Directory assistance, may I help you, please?
Hello. Hello again. Hello. Hello again.
All right, so we got I think a first-time caller to the show. I believe this gentleman has his own podcast, so let's hear from this guy here right now.
What's up, fellas? This is TJ, a.k.a. T-Boy 87 from Open Forum Radio.
Hey.
Just wanted to leave a comment saying I'm enjoying all the new episodes of the newest Father Figures podcast. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing right now. But my question is to Mr. Helmer. And I see that you had the Christmas party earlier this year, but in your new profile picture had you dancing on the dance floor like a crazy wild man. But
it's a crazy white man
thing needs to go away next year. Like it was taken away from your coolness and everything. I didn't like it. So if you could narrow down what's going on with the name tag gate investigation, I would appreciate that. But again, thank you very much, gentlemen, and I appreciate the show. Takes traffic away from me very much. So thank you, and have a nice day.
All right, Timo, thank you very much. Good to hear from you, brother.
Timo, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with him 100%. I have not started this name tag thing. People are just do it now, unfortunately, and I have to stop it. Like we had this creepy old lady, one of the guys at work, his creepy old wife kept putting them on me and like putting them on my butt and back of my legs and stuff like that. So I had to finally tell her to stop.
So if she was hot, you've been like, yeah, like the girl was licking your ears. You've been like, okay, you can put more names.
It might have been a little different story there.
You know the solution to this, Matt, is either you just go in a thong, and then everybody will just avoid you, or just don't go for a few years.
I can't do that. I like one. It's free booze, free food.
So my wife didn't go to her party this week, and she says she was kind of ostracized the next day. People weren't talking to her and stuff like that.
See?
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good
pressure.
look.
Yeah.
I remember
But I agree. Timo, I want to end. Big time.
One year I didn't go to a work Christmas party, and then a few days after that, my boss was giving me crap about playing in a band and leaving work early and stuff like that. So it does really set some people off if you don't go. What are you going to do? All right, who else is on the line here? Let's see.
What's up, big bad show, the BFF crew? This your boy Vaughn calling you back. Hey, real quick, this goes out to Jeremy, Poopy Pants, Dirty Barrel Mike, Zombie Toe Matt, and of course, the Black Mario Eric. Hey, real quick
Yes.
for you guys, I picked up the PSVR bundle over Black Friday. Love it. And I've been playing the heck out of the Switch. So just wanted to update you guys on what was going on. The Switch is all that. All right, real quick. I usually ask you guys a gaming question. This week I'm going to go a little different route since we're in the middle of the holidays. I want to know, what is your best Christmas memory? Your best Christmas memory. When you think about Christmas, what is it that you guys remember is the all-time best Christmas that you've ever had? Mine is back, tell you my age a little bit, back in like the late 70s, woke up Christmas morning. My parents had, under the Christmas tree set up, if you guys remember, you may have to look this up, the Big Jim and the Wolfpack. And some of you may not know about that, so you have to look it up. But he was kind of like a knockoff or a competitor to the G.I. Joe series. But he had like a kind of like the adventure spy type thing. And he had a crew that he rode with. And I had a couple of the crew members. Big Jim, look him up. The Zorak was kind of like the enemy. And we had Torpedo Fist and Dr. Steel. So you look that up. You'll see what I'm talking about. They had this big old Jeep and a motorcycle. My parents had that set up under the tree for me one Christmas morning. I'll never forget that. Loved it. And I don't remember if I asked for it, or not, but also had the Sears catalog marked up, so they probably found it in that. Okay, that's it, guys. Let me know what your best Christmas memory is. Peace.
All right, Vaughn, thanks a lot. I don't want to, bust your bubble there, Vaughn, but I'm looking at, I just Googled that, Big Jim and the Wolfpack.
I did too.
And someone is selling like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they do look like Hawaiian Village people. But someone is selling like 8 or 10 of them for like close to $1,200.
Oh man, Vaughn, you should have saved them, bro.
And this rare 1971 Big Jim the Whip figure, hey now, is $145 on eBay.
Goodness.
Yeah, so hopefully you still have those, Vaughn, and you can sell them, put your kids through school and things like that.
No shit.
Yeah.
So his question is the best memory.
Oh man,
from Christmas.
I got
Does anybody have one right off the bat?
I got a crazy one.
Okay.
Y'all seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That shit that was in that movie exactly happened to me. And you probably going, what are you talking about?
You sure?
Okay, so I swear to God. No, listen, check this out. So one year, now this is probably the only year I've ever had a real tree, right? Bro, this was back in the day when I was a kid. That's before they had the shakers and shit now like they got now. It was a freaking squirrel in the tree, bro. And we got it to my house. And that shit actually happened. God is my witness. I mean, it was chaos in my house for a good 20 minutes, bro, trying to catch this squirrel. My dad was trying to catch the squirrel and get this squirrel out of my house. That exactly happened to me.
So
and every time I watch that movie, oh, man, did it. Every time we watch that movie, we crack up laughing, dude, because it happened.
Oh, wow.
So is the squirrel sort of like the pizza in the oven? Is it still there? Did the squirrel ever get out?
Yeah, my dad finally caught it. He threw a blanket on top of it and grabbed it and threw it out the house, man. That thing was funny as hell, man.
Wow.
Oh, my God. I'll never forget that.
Oh, my gosh.
Matt, do you have any memories? You still have the first wallet that someone bought you, right? Is that
this first wallet.
You got my first dollar.
Freaking 1.0.
Or this Commodore 64, yeah.
No, I've got, I remember back in the mid-'80s, my parents got me a radio cassette recorder thing, and some blank tapes. I recorded Christmas that morning with everything going on and stuff like that. And I still have that tape also. I still have that tape upstairs. But it's really cool because, everyone's opening up their gifts and stuff like that. And it's just very fun to go back and listen to every once in a while. and all the stuff that went on that
Now,
Christmas Day.
do you have something to play it on still?
I do not. No.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you had the old cassette deck.
No, I need to get it converted like to CD or something like that, so I can keep it. What I need. But that's one thing that stands out for me is that.
Excellent. What are you, Jeremy? Can you think that far back?
Yeah, I think so this is actually kind of depressing, but the best Christmas wow moment that Vaughn was talking about was the first Christmas after my parents got divorced, because my dad basically he took our list and got everything on it because he moved out and was trying to overcompensate and everything like that. But I was way big into He-Man back in the day, and they had this thing called Eternia. Which you had Snake Mountain, you had Castle Grayskull. Then there was this big giant thing. It was as tall as I was, called Eternia. It kind of connected them all together. It had a little battery powered tram that went around, and this thing was like $150 back in the day. And Christmas morning at Dad's first, Christmas away from home type thing, that was sitting under the tree, and I lost it, man. That was just awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, if you that he was going to buy everything, would you put more stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, I'm like, man, this was everything on my list. If I would have known, man, and it would have happened, I'm sure. But then don't bother looking it up because I don't have it anymore. I had literally every single He-Man figure there was, all that stuff, and my mom sold it one year at a garage sale. We had a garage sale. She sold it all for $50.
Now, your Eternia. Your Eternia, was it like a lofty gift idea, or did you just say, I know he's going to pick this up, or did you be like, well, I just put this on there for the hell of it?
No, so the He-Man toys had, some of them had the checklist. I went through the checklist. Anything that didn't have a check in the box, I put on this list.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's how I know I had everything.
Lockjaw, Moss Man.
Yeah, he filled in all the blanks there for me.
Wow.
Oh man.
I still kick myself. I didn't have Eternia. I don't remember that, but I had Castle Grayskull and all that stuff, and I just gave it all to the kid next door. I was becoming a teenager, and he was like a young kid, and we were getting ready to move, and just fucking gave it all to him. Some days that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Let it go, Mike. Let it go.
I can't.
Man.
Christmas was like a great time when I was a kid. I don't have any sort of standout moment, with the passing recent of my uncle. I just think of, any time that we all got together, he was the life of the party. So I just say, anytime I could be around the family back in those days was a really good time. My grandmother was still alive, my uncle. So, for me, I think, recently, certainly what's got me down this path is my wife one year got me the 360. Surprised me.
Oh, yeah.
So, so that was set me down a certain path, and that's how I probably find myself here.
So you weren't gaming at all before the 360?
No. I had the OG Xbox, and I had the PS2, but we just had our first kid, and it was hard to get the 360 back then. It wasn't like it is now. It was somewhat difficult. I remember driving in blizzards to go to Costco and things like that because you had to know a guy and they were getting a certain amount in the pallet, and I got a couple blocks out. I got a newborn in the back driving. I'm like, what am I doing? I had to turn around and go home. I was like, I got a baby in the back of my car. I'm out in the snow trying to get a flipping 360. So yeah, she surprised me at Christmas one time. So that was cool.
Oh, neato.
All right, we got some other voicemails here. Let's hear from this guy right now.
What is up? It's Los. I finally remembered to call you guys. Isn't that amazing? I'm always like, damn it, look, this show is out, and I forgot to call again. But yeah, I'm here. I'm walking a dog, and I was like, hey, they got a show going on tonight. Let me give them a call. So yeah, I don't have anything to say, really. Just hi. I thought of something earlier, and I totally forgot because it's been a crazy day, crazy weekend, crazy season. It's just been fucking nuts, basically. But yeah, let me ask you, carry it over from our show. Socks with sandals. Yay or nay? I mean, I know it's generally nay, but it's just a little thing Beardy keeps poking me with and teasing me with. So I figured I'd throw it out there and let you guys see what you guys think about that. So have a good show. Peace out.
Why in the hell would you wear socks with sandals?
If you got a disgusting toe like Matt's, I would say
then don't wear sandals. I mean,
Matt, just get closed. That's why you have those closed toe sandals, right? Those mandals that you wear.
The point,
my mandal, yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, I guess my thought process is the point of wearing sandals or flip flops or whatever is so that your feet are out and about. So why are you going to go and cover them up?
Yeah.
I know I don't want to throw salt here. I mean, I know I've seen pictures of you guys in the summertime, and you're wearing your mandals and your Tevas, and you make your own personal choices. You make your own bed. You're gonna lie in them, you know.
I've learned that.
Eric, what are you wearing your feet, Eric? Are you a mandal flip flop guy?
No, not even. No. So, like, let's say if I'm walking around my house, right, and I have some socks on, and I have some slides, like some Nike slides or something. I'll put those on and go take because I don't want to wear my socks out in the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll do that. But
you're not an animal. Who would? I mean, come on. Right.
Right. So, but usually, no, I don't wear socks with sandals, and I don't wear those mandals and all that good stuff. Nah,
I don't own flip flops, mandals, sandals, or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy with my little black socks and my New Balance sneakers, and I'm good to go.
Our New Balance the best sneakers. New Balance are the best sneakers ever. Yes, I'm with you.
I'm curious. I want to know.
My wife just texted me that I got some sort of work bonus. Sweet. Carry on.
Wow.
Get you some fuzzy pants and sandals now.
Yeah. Now I can live high on the hog and get myself some mandals, some leatherettes,
some muck-mucks.
Yeah, some leather muck-mucks. What the hell are we talking about here? Sandals and socks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all a no for us, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Or help me understand why. Help me understand why. Let's do
I mean,
that.
I see it when I go out in public all the time.
Yeah.
I don't understand the thought process because, right, if you're wearing sandals, you're trying to air out your feet. You want to be cool and comfortable. You want to let those dogs out and breathe. But I see it all the time. I don't understand. All right, he called back in, so let's hear what he's got to say now.
Oh.
All right, this is Los again. Just to clarify and make things clear, I do not support or condone the use of socks and sandals out in public, but I do it. I do it when I'm walking the dog. When I go out real quick to take the dog out, you know, I don't go far. I'm right here in my yard, but yeah, I keep getting teased about it. I don't know what it is, and you know, I'm not going out flashing my feet everywhere, you know, but I wear our black socks and it's black flip flops, and I think that's all right. If I'm wearing white socks, which is very seldom, it's like laundry day that I'm wearing white socks. But if I'm doing that, I feel weird. That's when I draw the line for it. But if it's black socks, I feel all right. I'm all right with that. So what do you guys think with that? So let's see what you guys come up with for teasing me about it, because I feel it coming. Have a good show.
All right. So for terms, I just want to be clear. To me, flip flops are the it's just like a strap. It goes in between your big toe and your index toe or whatever that thing's called, and it literally makes a flip flop noise when you walk. Right? Is that
okay? Yeah. So
what do the old people call those tongs?
Yeah,
tongs, whatever. Yeah, and I don't wear those.
No, I'm never wearing those. That's one. Okay. Number two, I'm like Los. If I'm going to take the trash out, and I just I wear socks that I don't like to get dirty. I don't know what that's about, but I don't want to walk on the ground in my socks, right?
Yeah, so socks and slide-ins or whatever are fine.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. But as far as sandals, nah, bro, that ain't happening.
But how are you wearing socks with flip flop? Like, how are you getting? Are you just like shoving your sock way up into your toe?
Haven't
no,
slides. You're talking about
slides.
Slides.
No, but I'm saying I've seen people wear the flip flops, the tongue things with socks. I've seen that.
And they just jam their sock in between their toes like a monster?
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh my God, why?
But I've also seen people wear socks with Tevas and things like that.
No, that's ridiculous too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you see a lot of the basketball players when they go on plane rides and stuff, they wear the the black like ankle socks with the slides.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm going out like, someone's Christmas dinner, I'm wearing that, but if it's like, bringing the garbage out, walking the dog.
Yeah. Don't leave your property. As long as you're on your property, you do what you want.
There you go.
Well, to an extent. I'm still not wearing socks and flip-flops.
No. Not doing it.
We got one more voicemail. Wonder who it could be. And shout out to Los. Thanks a lot. Go check out his podcast, Future Monkeys. And a shout out to Beardy. He made a donation to my Extra Life and also gave me some solid insurance advice for my my old tree debacle. So shout out to those guys.
Nice.
Here's Fred.
Fan Fodder Figures. What is up, gentlemen? Another week, another phone call. Am I hot or am I hot? I know. I'm on fire. Yes, sir. All right, back to the last show. Great show, and I see there's a few questions for old Fred, and I'm going to step up to the mic and answer the questions. Let's start with the first one. I believe it was Indie Techno, digging in deep, trying to figure out all the mysteries behind Fred French. Great job, sir. Great job. I like you. It's almost like putting the Da Vinci Code together. You figured it out, sir. You figured it out. December 31st. 2017, Fred's hanging his hat on the goat rack and riding into the sunset. Yes, it's true. Like they say, hit it and quit it. So Fred has to step aside. But don't worry, I've been scouring up and down. I found the perfect replacement. And I'm going to give you his name. Ken Ketchup. Huh? Yes, sir. Ken Ketchup will be starting 2018 off with a bang.
I much prefer Hank Hines.
Was that it? Was that the end of it?
Was that it, Fred? Did he end like that? No Arrivederci?
No Arrivederci or nothing.
He was just out? Oh, you know why? Because I played a sound effect. I cut him off.
Now you got started over too, don't you?
Oh, no. Oh. I gotta give myself my own sound clip here.
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
Oh, sorry. I guess we gotta listen to Fred again.
Get to is what you meant to say.
Fan Fodder Figures. What is up, gentlemen? Another week, another phone call. Am I hot or am I hot? I know. I'm on fire. Yes, sir. All right, back to the last show. Great show, and I see there's a few questions for old Fred, and I'm going to step up to the mic and answer the questions. Let's start with the first one. I believe it was Indie Techno, digging in deep, trying to figure out all the mysteries behind Fred French. Great job, sir. Great job. I like you. It's almost like putting the Da Vinci Code together. You figured it out, sir. You figured it out. December 31st. 2017, Fred's hanging his hat on the goat rack.
What's he going to call himself next? Ken Ketchup?
Yes, it's true. Like they say, hit it and quit it. So Fred has to step aside. But don't worry, I've been scouring up and down. I found the perfect replacement. And I'm going to give you his name. Ken Ketchup. Huh? Yes, sir. Ken Ketchup will be starting 2018
Should I play
off
crickets
with
again?
a bang. Everything's going on. While old Fred sips his Crown and Coke and relaxes.
That's what's up.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Fred French isn't going anywhere.
Oh, thank God.
I basically threw that 2017 on there just, I don't know, that's when
to be relevant.
Fred came into existence 2017 on the phone calls and the Twitter, so I just kind of branded it with that. I'm not going anywhere, people. You're stuck with me.
God
like it or not, Fred's like that lost dog that follows you home and you just can't get him. Next question, the Arrivederci. I don't know, I just wanted some type of send-off type thing, and I don't know, you name 5 people that say Arrivederci to you when you leave. I can't think of one except for me. So, just kind of stuck, I don't know, kind of clicks. I don't know if you find it offensive or like doing something wrong, then give me a new one and we'll see how it rolls. Anyway, guys, got to keep it short because, this is like the verbal Twitter. You can say what you want, but keep it short. Have a great week, guys. And as always, thank you. Told you thought I was going to say it. That's right. Arrivederci.
Do we want to hear that again?
Yeah, why not? Play it backwards this time. Maybe it's saying something in
John Lennon's alive.
Fred should be.
All right.
Fred should be saying au revoir, right?
Yeah. I don't even remember giving him crap about the.
Jeremy did.
Yeah, I did. I asked. I thought there was a conspiracy behind
we
it.
hit hard-hitting questions on the podcast.
That's right. So, Matthew, it's your job.
508-659-BFFS. 508-659-BFFS. Leave them voicemails.
Yes. All right, let's segue into what we've been playing. We got some new stuff to talk about. Certainly last night, Jeremy, myself, and Matt played the new map in PUBG.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think, gentlemen?
New map and new features, too. All the vaulting and the new sounds and all that stuff is pretty nifty.
Yep, you could tell they're putting some work in there. A lot of detail in the cities and things like that. It's a different perspective. You feel like there's a lot of vantage points. Going into some of those towns. We didn't really experience like a big shootout or something, but I could imagine if the end game was there, what would that be like? There's a lot of different places that you could hide, a lot of different rooms that you could lay down in, and
or like I think I mentioned a while back that big that we finally found that big apartment building or skyscraper or whatever that had like 10 levels. That final circle starts closing in. Maybe it's just surrounding that building, and you're going floor to floor looking for the last 2 or 3 guys. Yeah.
Did it seem like there was more loot?
There was a decent amount of loot. It's certainly, I think, we haven't played since their recent update that they pushed out to the original map, but they have fixed the loot where they're less closed now. Remember how before you'd go into a room and there'd just be like 70 pairs of pants?
Yes.
I mean, you still saw that to some extent, but it was improved, I thought.
Right. Yeah.
What did you guys just think of the scenery? Matt asked us at one point, is this in Russia too? Jeremy, how would you answer that?
Los Generales, San Pedro, something or another. It's definitely the Russian area. Trailer park, graveyard.
Yeah. I thought it was a good change of pace from the other map. Nothing similar. Clearly, Matt, it was not Russia. So you had a different sense of sort of the landscape and things like that to really change it up. It just didn't look like the same place with a few pieces moved around. It was clearly a completely different map and experience, I thought.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I had a nice little hidey hole in the. I think I pushed it. I think there was maybe somewhere between 6 and 4 players left, and I was hiding under this rock. I got a kill. I took one guy out who was trying to kill someone else, and now they have this new feature called the kill cam. So when you die, you can see how they saw you and how you got killed. So I was killing someone, and then the guy behind me killed me because he saw me killing someone who was killing someone else. There was a lot of killing.
Yeah, just a lot of great improvements, especially when you think back to 6 months ago when we first got into that or first started playing it, and obviously it's not out yet technically, but I think having that second map helps a lot more than what a month ago you asked me a second map, like it's the same game, doesn't matter, but I think that second map with all those additional little features like the vaulting and they added a couple new weapons and stuff too. I think that really helps make it feel like more of a full game rather than just an early access thing that we've been playing around with.
Now, all these features going to be on the Xbox version?
We'll get to that in a little bit, Eric. We'll get to that. But,
okay.
But the short answer is no.
That sucks.
But we haven't seen the rain and the fog in this new map.
Would there be though? Because it's desert.
Someone's got to call in and let us know if you've been to Mexico for any extended period of time. Does it rain in Mexico, and do they have fog? I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe they'll have something else. Maybe they'll have a dust storm.
Ooh.
Maybe they'll have what else is prone to happen in Mexico?
Chupacabra?
They have volcanoes, right? Isn't Mexico going through like a volcano problem right now?
Earthquakes.
Yeah, earthquakes. Yeah, maybe they'll have tremors. Yeah, that'd be cool, But yeah, it is exciting to get to play somewhere else. And we'll see how people take it. I still don't know if this is going to be accepted in the esports realm like the first map is. I think they got to do some sort of verification or qualifications to see if it meets the standard or not. So we'll see if that happens. But at least the regular people playing it seems like a good map to me. So I'm looking forward to playing it. What's today? The 10th. So comes out in 2 days on the Xbox. But this map will not be on that version yet. Anything else that you have been playing, Jeremy, that you want to talk about?
Sure. I mentioned last episode about doing the story modes of different games in the past. So I finished up Mortal Kombat. It was just called Mortal Kombat. I think it's technically 9, but they didn't put the 9 at the end of it. The one that came back out in 2011 that kind of redefined what a fighting game story mode could be. That is processing on YouTube as we speak right now. So that came in at about 2 hours. If anyone's ever wanted to just sit down and watch that without playing all the fights, I cut all the fights out. So it's just a nice little story. If you put this up against the Mortal Kombat movie that came out way back when with Christopher Lambert and all those people, which, wasn't a blockbuster, but it was, it's a good Saturday afternoon watch. I'd say it's at least on par, if not better than that, as far as entertainment value. So you'll be able to check that out. I also picked up Tekken 7 this week. It was on sale in Steam, and I had some Steam credit burning a hole in my pocket, and kind of did the same thing with that. I've got all the footage down. I just need to actually edit out all the fights and everything like that. I will say it's not as good of a story, but it did kind of answer some questions that I've always had about that series as far as why certain characters are always pissy with other ones and stuff like that. So that'll be a lot less of a trial to go through and edit all that. And then I also started on Injustice, the first Injustice game, and have probably about an hour's worth of story that I'll have to go through and edit all that out. So that little plan is chugging along and just getting some nice play time, putting stuff on easy. But man, those last bosses in fighting games are just cheap, cheating jerks. So that's been the biggest challenge so far, is even putting it on like the easiest mode just to get through it all. They have their little tricks and moves that you couldn't possibly do or couldn't pull off in the fast action that they do and stuff. But yeah, it's coming along. But other than that, nothing else.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say I spent a good part of my Saturday watching a Street Fighter tournament on Twitch. I wouldn't think that those things would be fun to watch, but when it's in a competition like that, it was pretty tense.
Yeah, and those crowds, man, those crowds go crazy at some of those tournaments. Like, just having, I can imagine having a fan base like that just follows you around and just goes crazy for you.
This one Asian guy was stone faced. He had a big lead on a guy. This other Brazilian guy came back and then it got evened up, and the other guy, the Asian guy won and didn't congratulate the other guy, handshake him, just stone-faced and walked away.
Damn.
It was serious. So what were you
That's
saying,
what I was
Eric?
going to ask you, Jeremy. Jeremy, do you just play those games, or you play all fighting games like the Capcom and Street Fighters and stuff like that?
I play a lot of fighting games, but I don't play online. Like I don't play competitively or anything like that because I'll do couch co-op, or like I know Dad's Hideout, we had a couple fight nights where just 3 or 4 guys just kind of messing around and stuff. So I enjoy playing them in that regard, just against the computer or whatever. But as far as online and competitive, I'm not even close to being at that level.
When I was up at PAX East working up there, they used to have these competitions, and the guys used to bring their own controller joystick thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a big deal, man.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
Yep. No, I just like I started back on Street Fighter back in the day in the arcades, and then Sega, and on the Genesis, and then got into Mortal Kombat and stuff. It's just one of those deals that's it's like mom's cooking, like when I started up Tekken 7, brand new game. I've never played it before, but I know I can go in there, pick martial law, and I know 4 or 5 combos I can pick up because I can do right off the bat because they're the same ones since Tekken 1 back in the day. It's just like an old friend. And there's some new characters, but I'll tell you what, man, that Tekken 7 is gorgeous. It is unbelievable how good that game looks. Like it's a whole new level of and I'm just looking at 1080p. I'm not even doing the 4K or anything like that. And that game is amazing. The work they put into that.
Injustice 2 got I believe, an Xbox One enhanced version. It might even have a PS4 Pro. But something about fighting games, I've always had. People say like, "Hey, go check out Forza for really good, Xbox One enhanced graphics." But I've always found fighting games. Maybe it's because they don't have to do like whole big worlds or something. It's just they can make the background dynamic, and then you just have the 2 characters. I found those always visually pleasing, especially some of the recent Street Fighter ones, where they still have more of a hand drawn look to them as opposed to the realistic Mortal Kombat stuff.
Right. And when you're playing it, you don't really see it. But if you sit back and look at it, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It really popped off the screen. I watch a lot of stuff on Twitch during the day, and that was just really caught my eye. I was like, wow, that looks really clean and beautiful with all the different colors.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really appreciate about the NetherRealm or the NetherRealm studio stuff. So that's the Mortal Kombats and the Injustice stuff. Is they do their cutscenes in game engine, and you can see it in the video that I put up. It goes from the characters talking right into like the match where one's on one side of the screen and the other. It just kind of zooms right in there, and they load the match as the characters are talking. So it's a very seamless. The fight they're talking, the fight starts, the fight ends, and it just kind of pulls back and goes right back into the next cutscene. So it's really well done on top of just the writing and everything too.
Cool. What have you been playing, Eric?
Just the Skyrim mainly. Been walking around in Skyrim, messing around with dragons and stuff like that. And it's good.
I've finally hooked up my PC to my TV again. And so I'm trying to get into Skyrim. I've never played it. And I finally got out of the whatever the initial thing that happens. I got out of the carriage and did all that for a while ago. But I was in like some sort of dungeon, right? Where you're killing the guards and the bear comes at you. You got to kill the bear and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
and then you get outside.
Yeah, I just got outside. So I'm very, very early in the game.
You got to go to that one town and meet that lady, but
Whiterun.
It didn't, it didn't pop off the screen like I was expecting. I was like, do I have the stupid texture packs installed or something? And I had them installed. I was like, why the hell isn't this looking good? And they have some silly menu screen at the beginning that doesn't it just takes up a little bit of your screen. Mm-hmm. And the option, it didn't default to 1920 by 1080. It was still on 12. Whatever the 1270 or something like 1280. Mm-hmm. So I had to go in there and make an adjustment, and then everything looked beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game, man. So been playing that. Been playing some Forza. I'm trying to basically play everything that has Xbox One X enhanced or Pro enhanced because I'm trying to get this. I got that new TV set up and I had to get all the HDR stuff working. Man, let me tell you, that was a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah,
because you have to set all that stuff on. It's not on by default.
The TV, you mean, or the games?
The TV.
Right.
And it was being a pain in the butt. I was like, oh, goodness. And then I ran into a problem with some of the HDMI cables because you have to run, because I have a receiver and all that stuff, and it's a pass-through on the receiver, but the cable, I had it connected with a coupler in the middle. Can't do that because the coupler doesn't recognize the HDMI. It was a pain in the butt, so I had to strip it all out the wall and everything, but I finally got it, so everything's running at the crispest level of possible. So I'm loving it right now.
Yeah, I recently went out and bought an HDMI
splitter.
No, not a splitter, a switch. So I can plug four or five things into this one thing, and it will keep it handles HDR and 4K.
Yeah, you got to make sure it handles all that, man. It was a pain in the butt.
And you got to have. I know Jeremy in the past. I think you've said, it doesn't matter what kind of cable you have. Some of these now, you got to have the 2.0, the high speed
or 2.2. Yeah.
Oh man,
can't just use a regular HDMI cable anymore.
And then you got to know which port does ARC on your TV. How many of them come with 4K ports on the TV? Oh man, I'm telling you
what is the ARC for again?
Audio return channel.
Okay.
So it's like if you have a receiver.
Oh, that's what you'd plug
use
into?
that port. Yeah.
You don't have these issues with 720p TVs.
And say even 1080, it still doesn't matter what cable you have.
No, you got with 720, you got a whole different other problem. You got a composite. That's what.
You got to go down.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Cool.
But once you get everything set up, all good to go, everything pops and it looks great.
Nice. And what kind of TV was it again?
It's an LG.
LG. And what size?
It's a 65, and my Vizio that's right beside it is a 70.
So you got them right next to each other.
I got them right beside each other.
Is that what that thing was when you sent us the picture of the Xbox and the PlayStation?
Yeah, one was on the 70 and one was on the 65.
I have to look at that again. I thought it was like picture in picture. I couldn't tell by the... Now that I know what I'm looking for, I'll have to go back and look at that. And Matt, you were just asking about LG TVs the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, Sam's had a sale this past week on LG TV. Didn't look too far into it. I didn't know the model number and stuff, if it was good or not or anything like that.
Do you recommend buying TVs from a wholesale place like that? They have good return policy or support or anything like that?
Sam's? You can return anything to Sam's.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, what happens if you like the TV, but it's something needed to be adjusted or something like that, or you just bring it back and get a new one? They don't, like Best Buy has, like, someone will come out and repair it and things like that. They don't have
if you pay for it. If you pay for it at Best Buy, they'll come do that, but they're not just going to come out if you buy a TV and fix it for you.
No, but I'm saying does Sam offer anything like that?
I do not know that. Okay. I do not know. Sam's will return anything, though, that you bought from them.
Gotcha. What have you been up to, Mr. Helmer?
Not much, and nothing really new for me. Just the same old Ghost Recon, Wildlands, some Call of Duty, Team Deathmatch and stuff like that, and baseball and stuff like that. Nothing new special for me.
You've been making some progress with Ghost Recon, though, right?
I am. I've been making some serious progress with that. It's a lot of fun. I like it. I like the whole stealthiness and sniping people from far away and using that drone and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
And you're just doing single player, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep. None of the PvP stuff yet.
Yep. So just like me, I'd say not too much new stuff. A lot of PUBG, a lot of COD, a lot of Fortnite. Enjoying the Fortnite improvements that constantly come out. They now have a 50 versus 50 mode in Battle Royale, which is kind of interesting. I think they took the simplest and basic approach to that by just throwing it out there into the map rather than saying, all right, 50 people can only go this side, 50 people can only go on this side. It would have been interesting if they forced people into a certain section and then seen what happened from there, if it just would have, like, all hell would have broke loose. But when you can go across the whole map is sometimes the win doesn't feel as satisfying as it could, because you could be in a battle with someone, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, game's over, because you're not looking at the score. We were up like 25-10 on someone, and then eventually, we won. There was 10 people left, and there was 0 on the other side.
That has a friendly fire, right?
No, in 50 versus 50, it does not.
I was going to say, man, because if you got someone in there who wasn't paying attention to what they signed up to, and they're all of a sudden, I can see half the people on the map, and start shooting everyone.
Yeah, they tell you when you go in, they turn the friendly fire off for that.
Yeah, that's a good move.
The only new stuff I've been playing, I played the Monster Hunter beta that's out on the PS4.
Oh, wow, okay.
When did that come out? I didn't see that on the store.
I think it came out like a day or so ago. I think it's only for this
really?
weekend or something like that. So it's got a single-player component to it, and it's got a multiplayer. I watched Nick, Games on the Mind, play the multiplayer on Mixer. And that looked pretty cool, just a bunch of monsters out there, and you team up with a bunch of people, and, you try to take them out. And the, single player was just like, you get quests and stuff like that you go out on, and then eventually, you're following these footprints and picking up certain things. I assume that you can craft because you're picking up certain, plants and things like that. But eventually, you lead your way to a monster, and that felt very much like any other Monster Hunter game I've played before. You beat up the monster, and he gets low down in health, and eventually he runs away and goes to his nest or his cave or whatever. And you got to go in there and then beat the hell out of him, and the little babies or whatever start attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
So it clearly did feel like a Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable. It looks great. A lot of different options when you log in. If you got a 4K HDR TV and you got a PS4 Pro, a lot of different things that you can choose. If you want to go with frame rate, resolution, you want to focus on graphics. So a lot of stuff that you can tinker with. And the only other thing I've been playing that's new this week is on the Switch is this top-down racing game called Mantis Burn Racing. So the cars look very generic because it's top-down, but there's a lot of work that's been into the environments and things like that. Your mileage will vary probably on it, but it's a rather inexpensive game. But if you're into just quick races, there's a decent career mode to it that I think Rookie has like 2 or 3 seasons, then you work up to Pro. But if you're looking for something quick that you can sit down and do a few races, it's a little bit of a grind in the beginning to get a car that will keep up with all the other vehicles, but once you get through that, you can be fairly competitive. And I think there's also a online mode as well. I haven't tried that yet. I think it's maybe $9.99 on the Switch too, so not too bad. And I think that's all we've been playing. I look forward to playing some more COD this week. They got some sort of winter thing going on, Matt, that we were enjoying. It's a lot of snow, and there was a new map. So that was cool to try. Of course, kind of doing like a like Fortnite when you went in there with the Halloween theme.
Halloween, yeah, and the PvE, yeah.
Yeah, so this time it's like Christmas, so it's snowing, and they got Christmas trees in the headquarters.
Yeah,
that was enjoyable.
They also got a thing going on. You can connect it to your Twitch Prime, and you get like a loot box every week or something like that for a while, and a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah, so when you're in Twitch Prime, fire up my channel, give me a sub for free, and then you go ahead and download these loot boxes. Right?
and BFF.
Jeremy's rolling his eyes right now. I can feel it from here. Jeremy gave me a sub, though. That's props to you, my man. Props. All right, let's get into some news because it's almost Matthew's bedtime here. We don't want him falling asleep on us. So let's hear about the news.
Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? He just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm going to do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news.
Yeah, man, here's the fucking news for you.
The fucking news.
Notable releases this week. If you listen to the Giant Bomb shows, they're always talking about this game called Gang Beast. You familiar with that, Jeremy? Hear them talking about that all the time?
I've only seen it on Steam. It looks kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they've made a lot of improvements to it, and now it's coming out on the PS4. So people who listen to those shows and are curious and don't have PC that can play games, it's coming to the PS4 this week. And, of course, we already mentioned PUBG. So we'll segue over to that news story. So it's coming out on the Xbox One this Tuesday, the 12th. And then version 1.0 is coming out on PC on the 20th. And so they're not exactly in line yet, development-wise. So it'll take a little bit of time for the Xbox version to catch up to the PC. And the new map, which is called Miramar, won't be on the Xbox until early 2018. So for you console people, you only get one map so far. There's going to be more Battle Royale coming your way. We knew this was going to happen, right? We knew there was going to be a lot of copycats or people trying to get a slice of that pie. And one game I wasn't expecting it was Dying Light, a game I really enjoyed. And played a bunch with you with that, Jeremy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're going to have their own version of Battle Royale. They haven't given out too many details yet. It's going to be called Bad Blood. It's going to be free DLC. It's going to be a standalone expansion. And there's going to be some PvP, some PvE elements, so maybe like Fortnite, base building, crafting weapons probably, because you do a lot of that in Dying Light to begin with. And right now, if you are intrigued, you can sign up because they're going to have a global PC playtest pretty soon. So anybody who wants to partake in that, you can go ahead and sign up. Go to, I believe, dyinglight.com.
So it's a free standalone expansion to a game that's, 2-3 years old now?
Right.
So be ready for microtransactions for those of you who are sensitive to that.
Well, those guys have been always pumping out free content for a while for that game. That's sort of like The Division is always constantly putting stuff out. Dying Light they recently did a whole bunch of stuff, maybe around Halloween and shit like that. This week, speaking of microtransactions, you're always on point, Jeremy. That's what I like you. Just always
helping you out.
Point.
Helping out.
Of course, this week is the new Star Wars movie. Correct? Anybody going?
No,
not this week.
Yeah, I'm going.
I
got tickets a week from now. 2 weeks from now, maybe. But anyways, the new movie is coming out, so that means new content is coming to the game, which includes the hero and villain characters, Finn and Captain Phasma. Is that how you pronounce that? Phasma? There's a new galactic assault map called Crate, a starfighter assault map. There's going to be a new spaceship, the RZ-A2A wing, and also for you single-player people. So you're going to have to update your little movie there, Jeremy. There's going to be new story chapters that follow Commander Iden Versio during the days of the First Order's rise to power. So that's going to drop on the 13th. So you're going to have to do some video editing.
That's easy enough.
Is that the extended footage? You're going to call this one, the regular, and this one's going to be the extended edition?
Yeah, I still have the project saved, so I just have to play it, record it, and splice it in. It'll be fine.
All right.
We're good.
Is that free DLC?
That is free. All this stuff in DLC is free with Battlefront 2. That was, their whole day. That's why they had microtransactions to sort of offset that cost, right?
Yeah.
I haven't played this in about a week. Is everybody going to be jumping in this week, checking out the new stuff? Maybe.
Probably. I played it a little bit over the weekend. My kids actually have been getting into it and playing the arcade mode, which they don't like Star Wars and they've never really done any shoot or anything like that. But they like going in with any of the heroes and just wrecking shop on all the just scrub characters and stuff. But and I would also say log in this week because there's something to do with that new content where you have to pick a side, like the light side or dark side, and I don't know if that maybe unlocks something earlier for you with those new heroes or something. But
yeah, so you have to pick like a faction or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What faction?
Maybe at least do that. I don't know if you have to do anything else other than pick a side or just what.
Now, are you going to give us a little hint here? Are you going to be fighting on which side? Are you leaning one way over the other?
I think I just picked the light side, but not because oh, Finn, I love you. I think it was just that was the cursor was on that. I'm like, yes, X. The kids are screaming, they want to play. Let's go.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to jump in this week. I'm looking forward to that. Check out the new content. Get in the Star Wars mode. Now, does anybody usually affiliate Star Wars with Christmas? Is that like sort of go hand in hand?
I mean, as of late, yeah, but I don't associate it with Christmas. But
no.
I usually see those movies on more prominently during Christmas time.
Yeah, you're right.
We won't get in that whole debate if Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We'll let other podcasts do that. Finally, some PlayStation news here. You know, like, of course, they had the PlayStation Experience this weekend, and someone sat down with one of the heads at Sony, and he alluded to that maybe by this time next year, we would have already had the ability to change our PlayStation screen names.
Ooh.
So they are working on that behind the scenes. Apparently, it is more of a technical challenge for them than it has been for Microsoft.
You can finally become Bud Mace 2.
Exactly. Lord, the Sith Lord Bud Mace 2. To you. But yeah, apparently Sony must have that your name must be the unique identifier in their system, and I'm assuming Microsoft doesn't have that. They have some sort of other means, so that's why it's taking Sony a little bit longer. And finally, Matt, you know, because you have just purchased an Xbox One, and because you have an affinity for pirate culture, you know, when Matt goes to his pipe clubs, he also wears a wooden leg, a peg leg, just to really get that old-timey flavor going. So now that you have the Xbox One, you can live out your pirate culture with Sea of Thieves, and it's coming out on March 20th. So you have a little time to save up, fatten up that Quicken wallet, and you'll be able to play. Maybe I'll join you on some swashbuckling adventures.
Oh, no.
You guys are going to get scurvy.
Are y'all excited about that game, though?
You know, I'm not really, but the more I look at it, it looks, you know, the water looks fantastic. That's a really stupid thing to say, but they get some great fucking looking water in that game.
It's a purchase that.
It is.
I think it's one of those games that on paper it sounds like a great idea, but you're asking people, some of which you might not even really know each other, to work together and like do sea battles and things like that. And there's a game that's been out on PC for a while. It's called Guns of Icarus Online, and that's all it is just airship battles where you have 4 to 5 people on the same ship. One guy drives, another guy shoots, and everything like that. And that's always chaos and madness. And this is going to be like that times 10, because then you're also going to be off the ship and doing other things. Like, I think it'll be great for a very few people who have a small, close-knit group of friends who play all the time, so that they can actually get on the same page and get coordinated. But I think any casual gamer or anyone who's just kind of, you know, checking in here and there every once in a while, I think that's going to be a tough sell.
Right. Now, do you have to have a coordinated effort with this? What I'm getting at is, this seems like a perfect thing for the BFF stream. To get the friggin' 3 to 4 of us roaming out on a boat looking for some sort of treasure. You know, getting on a boat and trying to shoot cannons at other boats. This
that's going to be the fun right there.
You know, maybe we can make Matt walk the plank, or, you know, Jeremy's got to cut potatoes or peel some potatoes. Or
right. I mean, that's with every game we play, though, right? If you want to see it played the correct way and played well, you go watch somebody else. You want to see some idiots screw around and scare each other and everything like that and laugh at each other, then yeah, that's when you tune into us playing. But I'm saying anyone who wants to play it well is going to have a harder time finding people to do that with.
Cue the Benny Hill music.
I'm just wondering if, like, do we have to stay on point with the objective, or can we go off and do other things? Like, I'm not sure. I haven't read it up on enough, but is it like you got 20 guys on one side and 20 on the other, and can, like, the 3 of us, like, break off and do something that doesn't affect the other 17 members of our team?
Oh, that's going to happen.
They hope.
It's going to happen.
We're gonna be like, you know, Columbus out there discovering our own islands and stuff like that. Just gonna, where'd those 3 go? And we're like rowing away.
It'll be you swimming in the water, just man, look at it. Would you look at that? And it'll be Matt like facing the wrong way, and I'll be on some island getting butt raped by skeletons or something.
Matt will be on the boat.
Mike will be going, what the fuck are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Matt won't be able to figure out how to get off the ship.
Matt will
Why
just
is
be
he
like,
crying away from all of us? Man, take
or he'll see a mermaid. He'll be chasing a mermaid around.
just laying flat looking for a mermaid in the prone position.
In the
Take
water.
me.
Matt, you're gonna have to look up this game and see if you can go prone in it. Maybe with the telescope. Get your telescope up.
Yep, that matters if I buy it or not.
Yeah. You can't go prone. It's a no-go.
Nope,
this is
correct.
And there's going to be a open beta or alpha or whatever it is available to everybody in the beginning of the year. So we'll be able to test this out for free.
Yeah.
So be on the
Good.
lookout for that.
Yep.
All right. We already did your terrible topic, so it's time to end this, Matt. Why don't you start with your plugs, concerns, shout-outs, complaints?
Yeah, I just want to shout out some people we met on games this week. Elite King 75, another Eric, played with us in Call of Duty. Huh?
74, I believe.
Oh, 74, 74, 75, whatever it takes. Man, he played some Call of Duty with us. It was a lot of fun. And Iron Hell 420. I don't know what that name means, but he's a lot of fun to play games with, too. So we had some fun with him. Yep, Jay. And, of course, Mark and Bibbs. They're always fun to play with and that. And, but, yeah, shout out to those guys for telling us, we got a great show and stuff. Make sure to subscribe to the Bad Fodder Figures Twitch and YouTube, please. Thank you very much. And leave us voicemails at 508-659-BFFS. That's all.
Job well done, Matt. Jeremy?
You forgot to mention Trauma Mama, so I'll shout out Trauma Mama, our number one Twitch fan who watches us while we're at work. And when she found out that there's the new map and all that new stuff in PUBG, she's like, "You guys better play, and I want to see it." So,
was she
for those who don't know that, no, she apparently at one point she I can't remember what part it was. Oh, it was I went to run and hide in a little room, and there was already a guy in there, and she about shit her pants, I guess, at her desk, and a coworker came over and was like, "What's going on over here?" Like, concerned about the sounds she was making and stuff like that. But other than that, thanks to everyone who keeps calling in and giving us stuff to talk about. And like, we're becoming an intermediary between our callers now. We got Fred asking Indio things and or Fred talking back and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's nice to have a nice little community.
Excellent. Eric?
Man, shout out to everybody listening, man. I think it's awesome. I think, all the podcasts that closed down, and we pretty much got all those people to come on over to the Bad Fodder Figures, and I think it's great. And all the call-ins and the Fred French, he's a weekly part of my enjoyment, and I love it. So, and Vaughn's and Los's and everybody, I think it's just very cool. So, keep calling in.
Excellent. I got to give a shout out to D. Rogers. I got your voicemails. Just haven't had a time to splice them into the show. They were rather long, sir. If you want to call back in and leave a shorter one with less penises talk, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some audio magic to put that all into one voicemail. But I haven't forgot about you, D. I will get to that at some point. Everybody else, yes, exactly. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. I hope the holiday season is great for everybody. We're just getting started here. Episode 7. Hop on board now. Let's see where we can take this thing. So until then, this is it. Episode 7. We'll talk to you guys next week for episode... What? What number's next week, Matt? 8?
9, 10, 11?
Something like that.
Yo, snatch smell like a kingfish.